Hi everyone, this is Stella and welcome to Stella Music Theory. Today we are going to go over some exercises from Chapter 3 in the Grade 1 Discovering Music Theory Workbook. Let's get started. Today we are going to start with Triplet Demisemiquavers, which is on page 3 of the Grade 3 Workbook. 3 triplet demisemiquavers are played in the same amount of time as 2 demisemiquavers or 1 semiquaver. We have already learned what a triplet is in the earlier grade. Triplet means a group of 3 notes. So let's say we have 3 quavers, which is the most common type of triplet. With a triplet, you will see a number 3, and we have to group them together. Sometimes there's a bracket, sometimes there's no bracket. And a triplet will take up the same amount of time as 2 of the same notes. For example, here we have a set of 3 quavers. So normally 3 quavers, right? 3 quavers has the value of 1 dotted crotchet. However, when you have 3 quavers as a triplet, it doesn't equal to a dotted crotchet. It takes up the same time as only 2 quavers, which is the same as 1 crotchet. So whenever you see a triplet, there's another trick that you can do. You can just cross out one of the notes and you can see the actual time value of the notes. So let's take a look at this here. We have a set of 3 demisemiquaver triplets. So again, we're going to cross out one of the notes. So it's the same value as 2 demisemiquavers, which equals to 1 semiquaver. Now, triplet may include notes and rests of different values as well. For example, let's take a look at this one. There are only 2 notes here, so why is it a triplet? Now you see that in the first note here, we have a semiquaver. The semiquaver can be split into 2 demisemiquavers, like this. And this note itself is a demisemiquaver. So actually, there are 3 demisemiquavers in this triplet. In any kind of a triplet, you need to be able to split into 3 notes of equal value. Next, this one here is also a type of triplet. In this triplet, there is a rest. So we have a demisemiquaver rest here, and there are 2 demisemiquaver notes. So altogether, again, equals to 3 demisemiquavers. Did you know when triplet demisemiquavers are beamed into beats with other notes or rests, a bracket can be added to show which notes are part of the triplet? Sometimes it's just clearer to have a bracket, especially when they include rests in the triplet. Make sure that people can understand which notes or rests are part of that triplet. Exercise 3, tick the 4 triplet groups that have the same duration as 1 semiquaver. This is a semiquaver, and if you translate to a triplet, it will be the same as 3 demisemiquaver triplet, like this. 3 demisemiquaver triplet would take up the time of 2 demisemiquaver, which would be the same as 1 semiquaver. So let's take a look at this one. Let's call it number 1. Here we have a triplet of 3 semiquavers, which is not the correct answer because we are looking for a triplet with 3 demisemiquavers. Then number 2 here, we have this triplet Now in this triplet, we see a demisemiquaver note, a demisemiquaver rest, and then a semiquaver rest. So this is not a correct type of triplet because all three notes or rests in the triplet should be the same type of note value. So the third rest here, it should also be a demisemiquaver. Next, number 3 here, we have two demisemiquavers with a demisemiquaver rest. So this is the correct answer. Number 4, we have this, which is one semiquaver note followed by a semiquaver rest and then another semiquaver note. So this is a triplet of 3 semiquavers, which is not what we're looking for. This, let's call it number 5. Here, in this triplet, there are only 2 notes. Now the first note is a demisemiquaver. Second note is a semiquaver, which can be split into 2 demisemiquavers. And therefore, there are 3 demisemiquavers here, which is the correct answer. Number 6. This is very similar to number 5, except that we have the semiquaver first and then a demisemiquaver after. So again, this is the same as 3 demisemiquavers, which is the correct answer. Next, let's call it number 7 here. Here we have a group of 3 demisemiquaver notes in a triplet, so this is correct. And this is number 8. Here there is a quaver rest followed by a semiquaver note. Now the quaver rest can be split into 2 semiquavers. Together with the last semiquaver, there are 3 semiquavers here, which is not what we're looking for. So the answer would be number 3, number 5, number 6, and number 7. Next, exercise 4. Answer each musical sum with one note. Remember, a crotchet is the same as 8 demisemiquavers. Quaver is the same as 4 demisemiquavers. And a semiquaver is the same as 2 demisemiquavers. Question A is done as an example. Here we have a crotchet plus 8 demisemiquavers, which is also a crotchet. So 1 plus 1 equals to 2, which we can use a minim to represent the answer. Question B, here we have a minim, which is 2, plus the 8 demisemiquavers, which is also a crotchet. So crotchet is 1, 2 plus 1 is 3. And we're going to use a dotted minim to show the answer. This says you can only use one note. Question C, here we have a dotted semiquaver plus a demisemiquaver. Now again, this is the dotted note question. You cross out the dot here, you can also cross out one tail. So we will see 2 semiquavers. Each semiquaver is a quarter of a count, which then becomes half. And we can use a quaver to show a half. Next, question D. Again, we have a dotted semiquaver plus a demisemiquaver. So cross out the dot from the first note, cross out one tail from the second note. We have a semiquaver here plus another semiquaver here. Then there are 4 semiquavers. 4 semiquavers is the same as a crotchet. Crotchet is 1. So we have 1 plus a quarter plus a quarter. A quarter plus a quarter is a half. So it will be 1 and a half, which we can use a dotted crotchet. Question E. Here we have a dotted quaver plus a triplet. So now, first, we're going to look at the triplet. In a set of triplet, we can cross out one note. So this triplet of 3 demisemiquavers is the same as 2 demisemiquavers, which is the same as a semiquaver. And if you want to use the trick with the dot, you can cross out the dot here. Then you cross out one tail from this. So you end up having a quaver and a quaver. So that will be half and a half, which is a crotchet. Question F, there are 2 quavers here, which is a crotchet. So crotchet is 1, then 2 demisemiquavers, which would be a semiquaver. Semiquaver is a quarter. Then we have a triplet. In this triplet, there are 3 demisemiquavers. Since it's a triplet, we're going to cross out 1 demisemiquaver. So there are now 2 demisemiquavers, which is the value of 1 semiquaver, which is the same as a quarter. So 1 plus a quarter means 1 and a half. So we can use a dotted crotchet here. Let's turn to the next page. Exercise 5 completes the time signature for each of these melodies. Let's take a look at A together. So for question A, they have given us the bottom number of the time signature, which is a 4. 4 means crotchet is 1 beat. So we have to group the notes into crotchet. So the first note is crotchet, and then we have these 4 notes that are beamed together. Cross out the dot here. You can cross out one beam. Again, cross out the dot here and cross out another beam. So you will see 4 semiquavers, which is also 1 crotchet. Then bar line. Now before the bar line, there are only 2 crotchet beats. So the answer should be 2/4 time. We're going to keep looking just to make sure we are really in 2/4 time. So for the second bar, there are 2 quavers here, which is a crotchet, another 2 quavers, which is also a crotchet. Bar line. So it looks like there are 2 crotchets. Question B, here they have given us the bottom number is 4 again, which means crotchet is 1 beat. So the first note is a crotchet. Then we have these 3 notes that are beamed together. If we cross out the dot here, we can also cross out 1 beam. So we will see a quaver with 2 semiquavers, which is the same as 1 crotchet. Then there is a bar line. So there are 2 crotchets in every bar. Let's check the second bar as well. So here there are 2 demisemiquavers, which is the same as 1 semiquaver. Then this note is a quaver, and here we have 2 semiquaver again. So all these together make 1 crotchet beat. Then there are 8 demisemiquavers, which also make 1 crotchet beat. Bar line. So there are 2 crotchets in every bar. Question C. Here they have given us the bottom number. Bottom number is also 4, which means crotchet is 1 beat. Now these 3 notes are beamed together, so we're going to look at them as one group. With any dotted notes, you can do it 2 ways. You can either think of this as a dotted quaver, then these 2 notes together make 1 semiquaver. So a dotted quaver and a semiquaver make 1 crotchet. Or you can use my trick, which is cross out the first dot, then cross out 1 beam. So you will see a quaver with 2 semiquavers, which is also 1 crotchet. Then there are 2 quavers, which is 1 crotchet, and another 2 quavers, another crotchet. Then there are 4 semiquavers, which is a crotchet as well, bar line. So altogether there are 1, 2, 3, 4 crotchets. So the answer is 4 times. Keep looking. There are 4 semiquavers here, which is 1 crotchet, and other 4 semiquavers, crotchet. Now here, these 2 are demisemiquaver, so they make 1 semiquaver. So altogether here, there are 4 semiquavers, which is the same as 1 crotchet. Then here, 2 semiquavers plus a quaver is also 1 crotchet. So again, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 crotchets. Question D. Here, the bottom number is 8. 8 means quaver is 1 beat. So we are going to group the notes into quaver beats. The first note here is a crotchet. Now in a crotchet, there are 2 quavers. So that's beat 1 and 2 already. Then we have these 2 notes that are beamed together. I'm going to cross out this dot here and then cross out 1 beam. So we see 2 semiquavers. 2 semiquavers is 1 quaver. So altogether there are 1, 2, 3 quavers. So the answer is 3 8 times. And let's take a look at bar number 2. So bar line is here. So for bar 2 here, there are 4 demisemiquavers, which is the same as 1 quaver. And other set of 4 demisemiquaver, so quaver. 1 more set of 4 demisemiquaver. So altogether we have 1, 2, 3 quavers as well. Next, question E. Here the bottom number is a 4, which means crotchet is 1 beat. If you look at this melody, there are lots of notes in the first bar. The first bar line is here. We're going to look at the first 4 notes together because they are beamed together, so we look at them as one group. We cross out the first dot, then we can cross out 1 beam. Again, cross out 1 dot here and another beam. So we see 4 semiquavers. 4 semiquavers is the same as 1 crotchet. Then we have a set of 4, which looks exactly the same as the first beat, so this is also a crotchet beat. Then next, we have another set of 4. They are also identical, so another crotchet beat here. Now, there are 6 notes here that are beamed together, so we're going to look at them together. There are 2 sets of triplets, each set with 3 semiquavers. For the triplet, we can cross out 1 note. So we see 2 semiquavers here, which is the same as 1 quaver. Same thing for the next set. So this is also 1 quaver. So 2 quaver together make 1 crotchet. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4 crotchets in each bar. So the answer is 4 times. Question F. The bottom number is 2, which means minim is 1 beat. So we're going to group the notes as minim beat. So we start with a minim, which is beat 1, another minim. This would be 2. Then this is a semi-brief. In a semi-brief, there are 2 minims, 1, 2, bar line. So altogether, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 minims. The answer would be 4 2 times. Exercise 6. Add a rest or rest in each box to complete these bars. Remember to use a new rest for each new beat. Question A. This is a common time, which is the same as 4 time, which means 4 crotchet beats in each bar. If you look at the music, there is only 1 bar here. So this is the bar line or the double bar line. We're going to look at these 3 notes together because they are beamed together. So 1 quaver with 2 semiquavers. 2 semiquavers make 1 quaver. So 1 quaver, 2 quavers. This will be 1 crotchet beat. Then there is a box, so we need to fill in the rest. What we can do is we can go to the end of the bar and go backward. So at the end here, this is a crotchet note. So 1 crotchet beat there. That's the 4th crotchet beat. Then these 2 quavers, they make 1 crotchet beat. So there are 3 crotchets already, meaning from here to here, it will be 1 crotchet beat. So there's a triplet of 3 semiquavers there. We can cross out 1, and we can see that there are 2 semiquavers, which is the same as 1 quaver. So in order to make this into a crotchet beat, we need another quaver here. So we can put in a quaver rest like this. Question B, 3/8 time, meaning there are 3 quaver beats in each bar. There are 2 bars here. This is the bar line. And the box is in the second bar. So we're just going to look at the second bar. Here there is a semiquaver. And at the end of the bar, which is here, we go backward. There is a quaver. So this quaver itself is 1 beat. So this is 1 quaver. And going back to the first semiquaver, which is this one here. Now the semiquaver is not yet a quaver. We need another semiquaver to make it into a quaver. So we are going to need another semiquaver here, but we're going to make it into a rest. So we're going to put in a semiquaver like this, so that these 2 semiquavers together will make 1 quaver. Because in a 3/8 time, what you want to see in the music is 3 quaver beats clearly. So you see 1 quaver, another quaver, and then another quaver. Now that we have 2 quavers, we are missing another quaver here at beats 2. So we're going to put in a quaver rest like this. Now you might wonder why we cannot do this to combine the semiquaver rest and the quaver rest. Now if you do this, the problem is you combine part of beat 1, or to be accurate, the second half of beat 1, that semi-quaver rest, with the second beat, which is a quaver. So it make it more confusing. We cannot really see the 3 quavers separately. So this is not a good answer. Question C, 3/4 time. 3/4 time means 3 crotchet beats in every bar. There's only 1 bar here. The first note is a crotchet, so this is 1 beat. There are 4 semiquavers here. 4 semiquavers is 1 crotchet, so that's the second crotchet. Now meaning from the box here to the end of the music, we need 1 more crotchet beat. Let's take a look at what's given there. We split it, we see that this note here is a quaver. And so we need another quaver to make it into a crotchet. These 4 together needs to become a quaver. And there are already 3 demisemiquaver notes, so we only need 1 demisemiquaver rest here. Question D, 2/4 time, which means 2 crotchet beats in a bar. There is only 1 bar here. The first 2 quavers make 1 crotchet, so this is already 1 beat. Then all these together, need to make another crotchet, so that will become beat 2. Now these 2 semiquavers make 1 quaver. These 2 together, they need to become a quaver as well. Now this dotted semiquaver is the same as a semiquaver plus the dot, which is the demisemiquaver. So here we are missing another demisemiquaver in order to make them into a quaver. So we need to put in a demisemiquaver rest like this. Question E, free 4 time, which means 3 crotchet beats in 1 bar. There's only 1 bar here. Let's start from the end of the music. So here we have 1 crotchet, so that's 1 beat. 2 quavers here, so this is another crotchet beat. So there are 2 crotchets already, meaning all these together would make 1 crotchet beat. So this here is a quaver. These 2 demisemiquavers make 1 semiquaver. So here we are missing 1 semiquaver. So we can just put in a semiquaver rest. Question F, free 8 time, which means 3 quavers in 1 bar. There is only 1 bar here. These 4 demisemiquavers make 1 quaver, so that's beat 1. Then there are only 3 demisemiquavers, so it's not yet 1 quaver. Let's go to the end of the music. We look at these 2 notes. You can use the trick, cross out the dot, cross out 1 beam. So you see 2 semiquavers, which is the same as 1 quaver. So that's beat 3, meaning here we need another quaver. We already have 3 demisemiquavers, so we only need 1 more demisemiquaver rest. Let's turn to the next page. Exercise 7. Add the missing bar lines to each of these melodies. So here we are going to add the missing bar lines based on the time signature. Question A, 2/4 time, meaning 2 crotchet beats in every bar. So we are going to put in a bar line after every 2 crotchets. The first note is a crotchet, so that will be beat 1. Then we see a group of 6 notes that are beamed together. The first 3 notes is a triplet of 3 demisemiquavers. So we can cross out 1 since it's a triplet. So there are now 2 demisemiquavers, which make 1 semiquaver. And the next 3 notes are all semiquavers. So there are 4 semiquavers together, which make 1 crotchet beat as well. So this is another crotchet. So there are 2 crotchets already. We're going to put in a bar line. Next, there are 4 semiquavers. 4 semiquavers would be 1 crotchet beat. And there are 2 semiquavers with 1 quaver, which is also 1 crotchet beat. So 2 crotchets, we're going to put in a bar line. Next, there are these 5 notes that are beamed together. The first 3, they are part of a triplet of 3 demisemiquavers. So we're going to cross out 1. And we can see that it's just the time of 2 demisemiquavers, which is 1 semiquaver. Then this note is a semiquaver, so these 2 together make 1 quaver. The last note here is a quaver, so these 2 quavers make 1 crotchet beat. So that's 1 crotchet. Then here we have 2 quavers, which is another crotchet. So 2 crotchets we're going to put in a bar line. And these 2 quavers is just 1 crotchet and another crotchet here. So we're done. Question B, free 8 time, meaning 3 quaver beats in every bar. So we're going to put a bar line after every 3 quavers. The first note here, this is a quaver. Then 2 semiquaver is another quaver. This is also a quaver. So there are 3 quavers already. We are going to put a bar line here. Next, we have a dotted quaver here. A dotted quaver would be the same as a quaver plus a semiquaver. So there is one quaver here, and the quaver needs another semiquaver to make a quaver. So let's take a look at these 3 notes, which is part of the same triplet. So triplet of 3 demisemiquaver, cross out 1, which equals to 2 demisemiquaver or 1 semiquaver. So now we have 2 semiquavers. 2 semiquavers make 1 quaver. So that's the second quaver. This is the first one. This is the second one. And this note here is just a quaver. So that would be the third quaver. Can put in a bar line here. Now next, here we have a dotted quaver. Again, this set here actually look very similar to the rhythm in bar 2. So dotted quaver followed by a triplet of 3 demisemiquaver. So we know that all these together from the previous bar, we know that it's actually 2 quavers here. And these 2 semiquavers make 1 quaver. So there are 3 quavers now. Put a bar line in here. After the bar line, there are just 3 quavers, so it's okay. Question C, 2 time, meaning 3 minimum beats in each bar. So we are going to put in a bar line after every 3 minimum beats. This is a crotchet. So this is another crotchet. Together, this is 1 minimum, the first minimum. This is the second minimum. And here we have a triplet of 3 semiquavers, cross out 1, which means 2 semiquaver or 1 quaver here. Now these 2 together, again, cross out this dot here, cross out 1 beam. So you see 2 semiquavers, which is also 1 quaver. These 2 together is just 1 crotchet. We need another crotchet here. So this crotchet together with this crotchet, it will make 1 minimum. So this is minimum number 1, this is minimum number 2, this will be minimum number 3. So the bar line is right here. Now what is this curved line then? This is a tie. So the tie up the 2 crotchets across the bar line. Now after the bar line, this is a crotchet, 2 quavers is another crotchet. So these 2 together make 1 minimum. 2 quavers is 1 crotchet, another crotchet. Again, these 2 make another minimum. And so this is minimum number 1, this is minimum number 2. And let's take a look at all these notes together because they are being together. I'm going to cross out the first dot here, cross out the beam. So I see 2 semi-quaver, which is 1 quaver. Then these 2 together, the first 2 demi-semiquaver make a semiquaver, and this is also a semiquaver. So these 2 together make 1 quaver. Now this quaver and these 2 quaver together, this is 1 crotchet, just 1 crotchet. So I need another crotchet to make it into a minimum. Now this quaver note and the quaver rest together make 1 crotchet. So this crotchet together with this crotchet here, this make 1 minimum. So this will be minimum number 3. Bar line is here. After the bar line, there are 3 minimums. Question D, 4-2 time, meaning there are 4 minimum beats in every bar. This music starts with a triplet of 3 minimums. So we're going to cross out 1 minimum since it's a triplet. So we see 2 minimums here. This is 1, this is 2. So there are 2 minimums already. The dotted crotchet together with the quaver make another minimum. So that's number 3. And this one is a minimum. So 4 minimums. Bar line. These 2 quavers make 1 crotchet. These 2 make another crotchet. And so this would be the first minimum. Let's take a look at these 3 notes together. This one is a quaver, and these 2 together, again, we can cross out this dot and cross out this beam. So we see 2 semiquavers, which is just a quaver. So these 2 quaver together make 1 crotchet. we need another crotchet here to make it into one minim. So this is minim number 1, this is minim number 2. Then there are 2 crotchets which make another minim. This is number 3, and this minim at the end would be minim number 4. So we only need 1 bar line for this music. Question E, free 4 time, which means 3 crotchet beats in a bar. The first note is a crotchet, so that's the first crotchet. 2 quavers make 1 crotchet. Then we get to look at all these notes together because they are beamed together. There is a triplet here, so these here, they are part of a triplet. Now, what do we have here in the triplet? This is a semiquaver. These 2 together actually make another semiquaver, and this one is also semiquaver. So this is a triplet of 3 semiquavers. Cross out 1, which become 2 semiquavers, which is 1 quaver here. And this one, this note itself is also a quaver. So these 2 together make 1 crotchet. So this is the third crotchet. So this is crotchet number 1, this is number 2, this one is number 3. We're going to put in a bar line here. Next we have 2 quavers, which is 1 crotchet, crotchet, second crotchet. Then this is a triplet. Triplet of 3 quavers, cross out 1 quaver. There are 2 quavers, which mean 1 crotchet. So 1, 2, 3 crotchets, bar line. Then this is 1 crotchet. This is a crotchet. And these 2 quavers would make another crotchet. So 1, 2, 3 crotchets as well. Question F, 2 4 time, meaning 2 crotchet beats in every bar. This is a crotchet, so beat 1. These 4 notes, we're going to look at them together because they are beamed together. Cross out the dot, cross out one of the beams. You see 4 semiquavers, which make 1 crotchet. So first crotchet, second crotchet, we put a bar line here. These 2 quavers is 1 crotchet. This is another crotchet, so 2 crotchets already, put a bar line here. These 2 quavers make another crotchet, so beat 1. Now then we have these 6 notes that are beamed together. These 4 notes are all demisemiquavers. 4 demisemiquaver make 1 quaver, so this is 1 quaver here. Then these 2 together make also a quaver. So these 2 quaver make 1 crotchet. This is crotchet number 1, this is crotchet number 2, bar line. Then we have these 3 notes that are beamed together. Cross out this dot, cross out this beam. There are 2 semiquavers, which is just a quaver plus the quaver here together. This is 1 crotchet. And this is another crotchet. Question G, 3 8 time, meaning there are 3 quavers in every bar. This is a quaver, this is a quaver, this is a quaver. 1, 2, 3 quavers already. We're going to put in a bar line here. Again, this curved line is a tie. Tie goes across the bar line. And after the bar line, this is a quaver, another quaver. And these 4 demisemiquavers make 1 quaver. So 1, 2, 3 quavers, bar line. And next, these 2 semiquavers make 1 quaver. Quaver here and quaver here. Again, 1, 2, 3 quavers, bar line. And in the last part, there is a dotted quaver here. Dotted quaver is the same as a quaver plus a half of it, which is a semiquaver. So this is the first quaver. And the semiquaver here needs another semiquaver to make a quaver. These 2 demisemiquaver make 1 semiquaver. So these 2 together make 1 quaver. And this is quaver number 1, this is quaver number 2. This one is quaver number 3. So there are 3 bar lines for question G. This is the end of today's tutorial. If you find it useful, do subscribe to my channel so you will not miss out on any upcoming videos. See you next time.